MLB makes history, record-breaking stadium at NASCAR track. Imagine a day when the roar of engines is replaced by the crack of a bat. That's exactly what's happening this Saturday when Major League Baseball, MLB, transforms a NASCAR track into a record-breaking stadium. More spectators than have ever attended a Major League Baseball game are expected to fill the stands of a field that didn't even exist 32 days ago, in a state that has never before hosted an MLB game. The Atlanta Braves and Cincinnati Reds will face off at Tennessee's Bristol Motor Speedway, a venue more accustomed to high-speed racing than the gentle thud of a baseball. The only familiar element in this unique setting will be the game itself. Everything else is designed to be a spectacle. Over the past decade, MLB has staged games in some unconventional locations, but this event stands out for its sheer scale. Previous events, such as a 2016 game at North Carolina's Fort Bragg, games in 2021 and 2022 at the iconic Field of Dreams cornfield in Iowa, and a 2022 Negro Leagues tribute at Rickwood Field in Birmingham, Alabama, were intimate affairs. However, the Bristol Motor Speedway event is all about making a grand entrance. With over 85,000 tickets sold for the Speedway Classic, this game will shatter the league's previous attendance record of 84,587, set in 1954 during a New York Yankees game in Cleveland. This one really ranks up there big just because of the enormity of what we're building, explained Murray Cook, president of Brightview Sports, who advises MLB on fields and ballparks. The construction project kicked off on June 4th, with the demolition of parts of the infield, including half of a building, to clear space for the baseball field. This left a tight 32-day window to build the entire field and its surroundings. To create a level playing field, more than 18,000 tons of gravel were brought in and topped with a shock-absorbing pad under 124,000 square feet of artificial turf. The turf was filled with sand to improve the bounce of batted balls. Over 300 tons of clay were used to construct the base paths and mounds. Since the existing lighting at Bristol Motor Speedway didn't meet MLB's broadcast standards, 415 additional temporary lights were installed. Batting tunnels, dugouts, backstop net, batter's eye, bullpens, foul poles, none of this is here, right? So all that has to be brought in, Cook noted. This game marks the first MLB event in Tennessee, similar to how last season's game in Birmingham was the first in Alabama. It's part of MLB's broader strategy to plant live games in markets that typically wouldn't see big league baseball. It's the commissioner's office plan to grow the game around the world and to take it to places where, you don't have a major league team, Cook explained. When MLB played in London in 2023 and 2024, the fields were set up atop the home pitch of West Ham of the Premier League, with attendance topping just under 60,000. In contrast, Bristol Motor Speedway, the second largest venue in the U.S. by permanent seating, presented a much bigger logistical challenge. Jerry Caldwell, president of Bristol Motor Speedway, highlighted the venue's history of breaking records, including a 2016 college football game between Tennessee and Virginia Tech that set the NCAA's single-game attendance record. The challenge for MLB was to create a baseball venue within a NASCAR facility that is roughly twice the size of a football field. The design aimed to minimize the impact of the massive four-sided video board, the Colossus, which hangs 180 feet over the infield. During the game, it will be in foul territory, protected by netting to prevent damage from foul balls. I love seeing this baseball field rise up out of the middle of the racetrack and kind of be born almost, Caldwell said, expressing his hope that the memories of the game will endure. However, the transformation will be brief, with the teardown process expected to last about 15 days. After the game, the entire field will be donated to East Tennessee State University. We want it to be something that they'll always remember, they'll talk about, have fond memories of creating wonderful memories with their family, and I know that's what will happen, Caldwell added. And then we'll remove all this, and 6 weeks later, we'll do the same thing for the playoffs in NASCAR. But here's where it gets controversial. Some critics argue that these large-scale events divert resources from traditional baseball markets. What do you think? Should MLB focus more on growing the sport in established markets, Or is it worth the investment to create these memorable experiences in new locations? MLB takes over Bristol Motor Speedway, converting a racetrack into a diamond. Transforming a racetrack into a baseball field might sound like an impossible feat, and yet here we are witnessing a historic event that could break a long-standing attendance record. After all, the largest crowd ever to watch a regular season Major League Baseball game, an incredible 84,587 fans gathered at Cleveland Stadium back on September 12, 1954, to see the Indians sweep the Yankees in a doubleheader. That mark has stayed untouched for over 70 years. But on this upcoming Saturday, that record might be shattered, and not just because of a typical game. What's truly astonishing is that the game is taking place in Tennessee, at a NASCAR venue, Bristol Motor Speedway, for the first time ever in the sport's history. Yes, baseball will be played inside a speedway, creating what promises to be an unforgettable spectacle when the Atlanta Braves face the Cincinnati Reds in the inaugural MLB Speedway Classic. Preparing Bristol Motor Speedway for a baseball game was no small undertaking. Fans arriving on Saturday will witness a scene that resembles the thrills of high-speed NASCAR races, but with a distinctly different purpose. This venue, often called the Last Great Colosseum, has been transformed into a baseball field thanks to a massive amount of effort, ingenuity, and vision. According to Jeremiah Yolkett, Senior Vice President for Global Events at MLB, there's a limited number of spaces across the U.S. that can accommodate an MLB game, primarily because most are built specifically for other sports or events. The building was originally designed for racing. It's not inherently suitable for baseball, he explains. Thus, creating a playable surface meant starting from scratch. Hikari Shumsky, MLB's senior coordinator for global event operations, highlights just how much had to be built anew. Bristol is a professional NASCAR facility, she says. Anything that makes it suitable for baseball doesn't come with the stadium. We had to construct it ourselves. Dugouts, bullpens, clubhouse facilities, all of that was designed and built on-site. To create a level playing surface, several tons of gravel were imported, ensuring the field's foundation was stable. The project even involved removing an entire building that previously occupied space in what would become the outfield. Before the game, fans can enjoy a dedicated fan zone, complete with a Ferris wheel, concert stage, and other entertainment, a sort of premium tailgating experience. Many involved in bringing this event to life described the process as creating a canvas. And indeed, the field itself now serves as a blank slate for the players, artists, who will craft unforgettable moments in sports history. It was a complex plan that demanded clear vision and meticulous execution. Fundamentally, it reflects MLB's ongoing drive to push boundaries and explore new, distinctive venues for the game. As Yolkut notes, MLB isn't a league that simply replicates previous events. Rather, they seek to innovate. They have brought baseball to international audiences in London, Japan, and Korea, and hosted historic games at places like the Field of Dreams and Rickwood Field domestically. Now, with the Bristol project, they have elevated that ambition, creating something at a scale no one has seen before. And this is where controversy might swirl. Is such spectacle truly a celebration of tradition? Or does it dilute the essence of baseball by shoehorning it into unconventional settings? What do you think? Should Major League Baseball keep pushing the envelope, or should they preserve the classic ballpark experience? Share your thoughts below. Transforming Bristol Motor Speedway, MLB's historic baseball game. Transforming a NASCAR stadium into a baseball field, a remarkable journey. The Bristol Motor Speedway, often referred to as the Last Great Colosseum, is a monumental tribute to the thrill of motorsport, boasting a staggering seating capacity of approximately 150,000 around its half-mile track, which hosts numerous NASCAR events throughout the year. However, this iconic venue is undergoing a significant transformation. It will soon become the site for the largest regular season baseball game in history. On August 2nd, Bristol will host the inaugural Speedway Classic, featuring a matchup between the Cincinnati Reds and the Atlanta Braves. This event marks a historic moment as it will be the largest Major League Baseball (MLB) game ever held in Tennessee. To date, over 85,000 tickets have been sold, surpassing the combined capacity of both teams' home stadiums and breaking the previous record for the largest regular season game, which was set in 1954 when the Cleveland Indians faced the New York Yankees. Attendees can expect a vibrant atmosphere with live music performances, cameras mounted on custom remote-controlled car rigs, and the lush green of a baseball field contrasting against the gray concrete of the racetrack. Jeremiah Yolkett, the senior vice president of global events for MLB, remarked, "Seeing a ballpark situated in the middle of a racetrack is a rare sight." The challenge of the Colossus. For the past 9 years, MLB has organized special event games, including tributes to the Negro Leagues in Birmingham, Alabama, and the Field of Dreams games in Iowa. Yolkett mentioned that while MLB had considered hosting a game at a speedway, most tracks are too expansive to accommodate a standard baseball field. However, in September 2021, a visit to Bristol revealed the track's unique dimensions, which could potentially support a baseball field. This discovery initiated a 6 to 9 month period of feasibility studies. The most logical location for the field was at the center of the venue, but a significant obstacle arose. Bristol houses the Colossus, a 127-ton outdoor scoreboard that is the largest of its kind in the world. This massive structure would obstruct center field, creating a substantial logistical challenge. Additionally, the team faced the task of determining the best field orientation to prevent sunlight from blinding players, while also considering permanent structures that could not be moved, the steep banks of the track's turns, and the integrity of the racetrack itself. Yolkett noted, "We couldn't repave Bristol Motor Speedway to level the entire area." Ultimately, the team managed to piece together a solution, finding an orientation within the infield that met all necessary criteria. They positioned the Colossus scoreboard in foul territory and began the construction process. From dirt to diamond, the construction phase. Construction commenced in May with a dedicated crew of around 150 workers who undertook various foundational tasks, including the removal of 1,000 feet of pit walls, the demolition of half a building, and the dismantling of a gas pump station. Following this, hundreds more workers joined the effort to build the baseball field. Over the years, MLB has cultivated partnerships with specialized firms to adapt baseball to unconventional venues, including the global design firm Populous and the commercial landscaping company Brightview. The team first leveled the ground using 17,500 tons of rock sourced from Tennessee, followed by the introduction of 340 tons of clay from Pennsylvania, which adheres to the same dirt recipe used in 25 other professional baseball stadiums. To maintain the clay's moisture, an irrigation system was also installed. Next, they laid down 124,000 square feet of Diamond Series AstroTurf, the same type used at the Toronto Blue Jays home field. Additional installations included 450 wall pads for the perimeter, 2 60-foot foul poles, 80,000 square feet of backstop netting, 275 extra light fixtures, 2,400 additional infield seats, and 2 complete bullpens and dugouts. Yolkett emphasized the importance of providing player clubhouses that meet the standards they are accustomed to at their home stadiums. Each facility is equipped with showers, restrooms, a meal room, a training room, a video room, a stretching area, and a weight room, among other amenities. This transformation utilizes the entire Bristol venue, with the remaining space dedicated to a fan experience and a pre-game concert featuring artists like Tim McGraw, Pitbull, and Jake Owen. The event will also include a pre-game player parade inspired by NASCAR's driver introductions. And when Fox Sports broadcasts the game, they will incorporate additional technology consistent with the racing theme, such as an RC car camera that provides viewers with a unique perspective of the track and the baseball diamond's distinctive location within the infield. The aftermath, a swift teardown. Once the monumental game concludes, the baseball field will be dismantled just as quickly as it was constructed, primarily because NASCAR races are scheduled to return to the track from September 11th to 13th. Yolkett explained that the teardown process is a 3-week endeavor involving around 200 crew members, with the turf being donated to East Tennessee State University. "It's an exhaustive process," he stated, In fact, many of our partners have dedicated teams that come in specifically to handle the teardown after the event. You might be curious about how the Reds and Braves were chosen for this historic game. Yolkut explained that the decision was largely based on location. Both Atlanta and Cincinnati are within a reasonable driving distance from Bristol. Furthermore, these teams feature fast, energetic, and youthful players who bring a lot of excitement to the game. The impressive ticket sales reflect this strategy, and Yolkut believes that the event will be a spectacle not only for the fans in attendance, but also for those watching from home. Experiencing 90,000 spectators watching you is something none of these players have encountered in their baseball careers, he remarked. They've played in various venues, but I believe they will be awestruck by the sheer scale and the atmosphere of the Last Great Colosseum. This will undoubtedly be a magical moment. Don't miss out on the opportunity to apply for Fast Company's Most Innovative Companies Awards, with the early rate deadline set for Friday, September 5th at 11:59 p.m. PT. Apply today.